"Can you be the father of my baby for one day?" she asked, and I said, "Only if you tell me why." I never imagined that pretending to be someone's baby's father for a single day would change the rest of my life. When the woman standing outside my apartment asked, "Can you be the father of my baby for one day?" I almost laughed, thinking it was some strange joke. But then I looked into her eyes. They weren't playful. They were desperate. She held a tiny little girl wrapped in a pink blanket, and tears trembled on her lashes as she whispered, "Please, I have no one else." I took one deep breath and answered, "Only if you tell me why." My name is Ethan, and until that morning, my life had been painfully ordinary. I was 34 years old, lived alone in a small apartment, and worked as a mechanic in my uncle's auto repair shop. Most of my days smelled like engine oil and burned rubber. I wasn't rich. I wasn't important. I was just another guy trying to pay rent and make it through the week. Relationships had never worked out for me. 2 years earlier, my fiancée had left me for someone with a bigger house, a nicer car, and a better bank account. Since then, I'd buried myself in work, convincing myself that loneliness hurt less than disappointment. Then came that Saturday morning. I had just poured coffee into my favorite mug when someone knocked on my apartment door. 3 quick knocks. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened the door, I saw a young woman wearing a faded blue sweater, jeans, and worn-out sneakers. Her brown hair was tied into a messy ponytail, and dark circles under her eyes suggested she hadn't slept in days. In her arms was a baby girl, maybe 8 months old. The little girl stared at me with curious green eyes before smiling as if she'd known me forever. The woman swallowed hard. "Are you Ethan Carter?" I nodded. "Yes, my name is Lily." She hesitated before speaking again. "I know this sounds crazy, but can you pretend to be my daughter's father today?" I blinked several times. "I'm sorry, what?" Her voice cracked. "Please." I looked around the hallway, expecting hidden cameras. There has to be some mistake. There isn't. I folded my arms. "Why me?" She lowered her head. "My sister gave me your address." "My sister?" "No, my sister knows your cousin Daniel." That explained how she'd found me, but it explained nothing else. I looked at the baby. She reached toward me with tiny fingers. Without thinking, I smiled. Then I caught myself. "I need an explanation." She nodded quickly. "I'll tell you everything." I stepped aside. "Come in." She entered cautiously. My apartment suddenly felt smaller. She sat on the couch while the baby happily grabbed one of the couch cushions. I handed Lily a glass of water. She drank half of it in one breath. Then she finally spoke. "My daughter's name is Emma." Emma giggled as if hearing her own name made her happy. "My father is very sick," Lily continued. "He doesn't know the truth." "What truth?" She looked at Emma. "He believes Emma's father abandoned us because I made bad choices." I stayed silent. The real father died before Emma was born. I felt my chest tighten. He was killed in a construction accident. "I'm sorry." She nodded. "My father blamed him for everything. So why lie now?" "Because today might be my father's last birthday." I frowned. "The doctors don't think he'll survive another month." She wiped away tears. "He's been asking for weeks to meet Emma's father. Just once." I couldn't bear to tell him that the man I loved is already gone. The room fell silent. She continued quietly. "My father has spent years believing no decent man would ever love me. So you want me to prove him wrong, just for one afternoon?" I leaned back. "Lily, this is a huge lie." "I know. It could hurt him even more." "I know. You should tell him the truth." I tried. Her voice shattered. "Every time I open my mouth, I see how weak he's become." She looked at Emma. "I just want him to leave this world believing his granddaughter has a family." Emma crawled toward me. Before I realized it, She grabbed my finger with her tiny hand. Her fingers were so small, so warm. She laughed. Something inside me cracked. I hadn't heard a baby's laugh in years. For a brief second, I imagined what my own life might have looked like if things had gone differently. Lily noticed. "I'll pay you." I immediately shook my head. "No, I've saved some money." "No, it's asking a lot. It's not about money." She looked confused. "Then why?" I sighed, "Because pretending to be someone's family isn't something you can buy." She looked down again. "I'm sorry for bothering you." She stood up. "I'll leave." Emma looked at me again. Then she reached both arms toward me. I don't know why. Maybe because I'd been lonely for so long. Maybe because no child had ever looked at me like that. Or maybe because Lily looked completely exhausted. Before I could stop myself, I picked Emma up, head against my shoulder, like it belonged there. Lily stared in surprise. Emma smiled. I felt something strange. Peace. So, I finally said, "What exactly would I have to do?" Hope returned to Lily's face. "Just come to the nursing home. Act like her father. Talk with my dad. Stay for lunch. That's all." I looked at Emma sleeping against my shoulder. One afternoon. One harmless lie. Or so I thought. "Okay," I said quietly. "I'll do it." Lily covered her mouth as tears rolled down her cheeks. "Thank you." An hour later we drove together to the nursing home. The drive was mostly silent. Emma slept peacefully in her car seat. Lily stared out the window. Finally I asked, "What was his name?" She looked at me. "Who?" "Emma's real father." A faint smile appeared. "Michael. You loved him. More than anything. What happened?" "He was working overtime to save money for our wedding." She looked away. "He never came home." Neither of us spoke after that. When we arrived, I noticed Lily trembling. "You okay?" She nodded, though it was obvious she wasn't. "I'm scared." "Of what?" "That my dad will know." I smiled gently. "If he's anything like my grandfather was." She looked at me. "He won't be looking for perfection. He'll just want to see you happy." She took a deep breath. "I hope you're right." Inside the nursing home, an elderly nurse smiled warmly. "You must be Ethan." I froze. She winked. "Lily told us you'd finally make it." I glanced at Lily. She gave me an embarrassed smile. I had to prepare them. Before I could answer, the nurse opened the door to room 214. A frail old man sat beside the window, sunlight warming his silver hair. His tired eyes slowly lifted. Then they landed on me, and finally, on Emma. His face lit up with a smile so full of hope that it almost broke my heart. He whispered only 4 words. "So, you finally came." And in that moment, I realized this wasn't going to be a simple afternoon at all.